the non-Muslim. I mean, he signed a pact of peaceful treaty with them, and they cohabitate peacefully, and they were like trading between and transaction, exchanging of financial issues, and this is, and even when the Prophet ﷺ died, they found that he borrowed money and his sword from the Jew. So there are like always this cohabitation, peaceful cohabitation, and fraternity, let's say, respectful relationship, and the Prophet is a role model. How when he moved to Medina, he called it Medina. It means everybody can live in it, and how he gave all the freedom to the non-Muslim, and reconciled only those who were fighting together, this between the two tribes that were in the Muslim tribes, Al-Ansar wal-Muhajirun.
Now, what message would you like to send to the world, especially that we're now approaching the New Year and, of course, Christmas?
So, actually, we have to share with them everything, share their happiness, greeting them, of course, celebrate this together, inshallah, and build. Egypt has to be, I mean, firm on the level of solidarity, fraternity, unity, and ولا تنازعوا فتفرقوا وتذهب ريحكم. Never try to have like this feeling of diversity. No, we are وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي created from one soul, is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we want to revive this feeling of they are really our brothers, and alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, we have to respect their happiness, I mean, and share this with them.
So like Raja mentioned, you know, this is a new year, but at the same time there has been a lot of things going all around the world when it comes, you know, to the image of Islam. You have been speaking about how peaceful the religion is and how peaceful the Muslims are with their brothers and Christians, and supporting them. What about what's happening in the world today? And what about, you know, the image and how Muslims are treated abroad?
Unfortunately, what we hear is, you know, terrorism, for instance, accuse Islam of being a terrorist religion, where terrorism has no color, no race, no, we can't, we don't know even the truth. There are politics behind, and there are people who have their own goal, but unfortunately it gives wrong image about Islam, and Islam all type of terrorism. And the Prophet ﷺ said in the Quran, من قتل نفسا بغير نفس فكأنما قتل الناس جميعا. It means whoever killed an innocent person, regardless of his religion or of his race of color, as if he's killed the whole humanity. And Islam, the word Islam is derived from salam, means peace. So even if they try to يريدون أن يطفئوا نور الله بأفواههم, they want to extinguish the light of Allah by giving a wrong image about Islam. No, it will happen that people knows from history, from the truth, that Islam is really condemning all type of terrorism.
Now, how can we do that? How can we change that image?
Well, but our behavior is so important. We have to be إنما بعثت لأتمم مكارم الأخلاق. This is what the Prophet said. I've been sent to spread good and to adhere to moral values. So this is what we need. We need to work on ourselves a lot. And it's not a matter of praying, fasting, and this. And then when it comes to dealing with others, we're not honest enough. We can be liar, can be cheating. Unfortunately, we have to really work on ourselves and strive to prove that to adhere to moral values. So implementing moral values in the society is number one. We don't need to talk that much. A good example of a trader, a good example of a teacher, a good example on every level is enough to correct this image about Islam.
You think it's what is happening from preaching, Islamic preacher, is enough to create those models like you mentioned that would teach people?
I assume we have to change somehow the way we presenting Islam, not to be rigid. We want the midway Islam, wasatiyya, no extremism. We have to be away. And alhamdulillah, I guess Azhar is taking care of this perfectly now, and inshallah we reach to the point to be having like the midway Islam, inshallah. But we have a long way to prove it, and long way to, especially to implement this in the youth. Yeah, the youth, they're far away from Islam somehow, their behavior, the way they're talking, the way they, I mean, they lack a lot of moral values. I mean, we need to work hard on the youth especially.
Dr. Magda, you must have represented Egypt or Islam abroad. Like when you talk to abroad to people about Islam, what was the reaction?
Actually, it's very bad reaction, of course, as you know. But we still have to confront all the problems. It doesn't matter the image about Islam, but still we have good. We have to say the truth, and establish justice everywhere. This is very important. Adhere to the moral values. Adhere to the Prophet ﷺ good moral values, especially when how he used to treat the Muslim and non-Muslim and even his enemies. All of these we really need to stick to the Prophet's teaching a lot. This is the only way.
And what would be your advice to youth, with this regards? How would youth, be following, the footsteps of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him?
Yes. Concerning the youth, I'll advise them to read a lot about the biography of the Prophet ﷺ, and see how he was on every social aspects, mashallah, very successful, as a father, as a leader, as a husband, etc. So if you copy really from the behavior of the Prophet ﷺ in general, how even with his friends he was behaving, and with Abu Bakr as-Siddiq he was insisting to pay for him simple things, even to deal with money, with financial issues. In general, and we have to. I want to tell them, protect the rights of others. And remember that Islam is protecting even the right of the fetus. A fetus before he is born, Islam, subhanallah, gave him right to live, the right to inherit. After death, Islam is protecting the rights of the deceased, no mutilation. Also, if there is a debt, it has to be paid. أعطي الأقدير حقه قبل أن يجف عرقه. All these moral values are very important. You have to pay the salary, whatever it is due, on time and not delay it. All of these are a way of dealing and be successful. When you are just, you are in generally establishing a success, inshallah.
Well, also I'd like to ask you about yourself. You're a biochemist and a preacher. When did you decide to be an Islamic preacher?
Well, it's a long way. I used to live in Paris, and I was ignorant about Islam, let's say. And when they asked me especially questions about misconceptions about Islam, I couldn't really answer. So I felt like, this is when I was young, I felt like it's time for me to be a bit knowledgeable about Islam. And I prayed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I was fulfilled somehow. Alhamdulillah, when I came to Egypt, I joined Azhar University, Sharia. I'm really fond of Islamic Sharia, very much, very much. And I felt that this is what I really want to defend Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, defend Islam and say the truth. and especially the Midway Islam. And this is how it started. I started to like interpret Quran and science. You know, I have lots of episodes actually about Quran and science. So it helped me a lot, my background, scientific background, to interpret many verses of the Quran and Hadith about how Quran has precedence, and in 14 centuries ago has mentioned facts that actually researchers has proven. So this is, I guess, this is the best way to talk about Islam is to highlight the scientific part and how Prophet ﷺ 14 centuries ago has cited amazing verses. You need time to elaborate it.
Yes, I usually enjoy this part, and I would like to take from you one advice from the biochemist expertise about what would we do to become more healthier in 2016. One thing that you would advise with.
Okay, one thing to become healthier. Actually, the new trend is alkaline food. Alkaline food means you avoid all acidic food.
Yes.
That means increasing your acidity in the blood, and this is a new concept. Let's say, what is acidic? That means the sugar increase acidity, and it's the opposite will be the alkaline food. That means whole grains, flax seeds, honey, of course. Avoid all the fast food, and try to neutralize the acidity of your blood, because this is #1 cause of headache, of propagating cancer, and triggering many diseases.
And how could the people neutralize by increasing
by
the
being
grains,
keen
like
about
this?
eating alkaline what we call alkaline food. This is a new trend. Alkaline means like whole grains, whole rice, whole barley, whole wheat, and so on. Bread, of course, when you eat. Avoid sugar that increase acidity. Also fruits and vegetables, antioxidants, etc. But in general, change your lifestyle, and this is the ideal to protect your health.
Thank you very much, Dr. Magda, for joining us. It has been a great pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much. Inshallah, we'll have time to elaborate more
Inshallah.
about health.
We'll be back after the break, so stay with us.